let's see how to play a regular hand. The first thing we do is to draw a dice card for the row, and that would be a 3. So we take one of the markers and place it on row 3. And then you would put this card back and reshuffle, but for the sake of this how to play, let's just draw another one. That would be a 5, and that would be the column 5. We put the marker here, so this is just the marker for the column. And that means that this card, the 8 of anchors, is our active card for now. Now we need to pick one of the 4 orthogonally adjacent cards to swap the 8 with. I mean, we can take a look and see which of those would yield a good poker hand. What I've already seen here is that if we swap the 8 with this 9 of diving helmets at the bottom here, so we swap the 8 and the 9. Now we have to pick a poker hand that contains either one of those 2 cards, because those were the swapped cards. And here, ace, 9, 8, 7. So 7, 8, 9 is not sufficient. We need a 4-card sequence, a 4-card flush or 4-card sequence at a minimum. So on the vertical row here, on the vertical column, we don't have anything. But here on the horizontal, we have the 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have a sequence of 4 cards. And if we look at our scoring cards here, 1, 2, 3 scoring cards to the right, you can see on the top right corner there that the 20 knots bucket, the low 4-card bucket, tells us that a 4-card straight or 4-card flush that has a high card is 10 or lower, which is our case, because we have a 4-card sequence that has the higher card being a 10 or lower. Our higher card is the 9, so that is exactly the poker hand we have. So that is good for us. What we do now is we're going to score this sequence here. What we do to score, we take the card that is in the intersection of the 2 markers, so that's the 9. We flip it, and we place it exactly on the aligned with the arrows that indicate the 20 knots, the low 4 card there. So we place it on the right side here. So if you look, we place it on the right side. So that indicates that we have scored this hand of poker for this round. So that is the round for me. And of course, then we would have the next player now play their hand. We would just return those cards here, reshuffle the dice cards, and the next player would take their turn. Let's now play with one of the mitigation cards. So let's say we drew the same dice cards, 3 and 5, 3 for the row, 5 for the column. And we already see that this is not going to be a good hand, but we see that if we swap this to have the row 5 and column 3, it would be a better hand. Then we can use this mitigation card here, flip row and column mitigation, that allows us to invert the row and column that we're drawn for the round. So let's use this. Of course, we just need to discard it. Then we take the row and the column 3 and 5 and swap them to 5 and 3, making the jack of compasses the active card. That actually shows us that we could choose the 6 of crabs, the 8 of diving helmets, the 6 of anchors, or the 7 of compasses, the card to swap the active card with. And actually, if you look closely, you're going to see that the best swap is the one down here. So just zooming a little bit. So we can see that swapping the 7 and the jack. So we can do this now. So now we need to look for a poker hand either vertically or horizontally that uses either one of those 2 cards, 7 or the jack. And actually, you can already see here that we have 3 jacks in row and 2 10s. So that would be a full house. So there's no question here. What we're going to do here, we only have a 6, 7, 8 in sequence. That's not enough. But actually, you don't have a full house with 3 jacks and 2 10s, because you have to remember the rows and the columns wrap around. So you actually have 1, 2, 3 wrap around, 4 jacks. So you have 4 of a kind of jacks. And if we look at the scoring cards, the last one here, the full house is on the top right corner, is a 75 knots poker. So it's worth 75 knots or 75 victory points. But a 4 of a kind is a wall hand. It's worth 100 knots. It's the last one at the bottom right. So actually, we want to score the 4 of a kind using those 4 jacks here. So that's the power of the mitigation card. So what we do is, as always, we'll take the card that is in the intersection of the markers. That's the 7. we take it out of the grid, flip it, and place it by the three arrows that indicate the value of that current round hand of poker that we formed. And that is how you use a mitigation card. Now let's see what happens if, like in this situation, you draw a dice card that puts you like here in row 2, column 4, where there is not a card present. So in this situation, you are allowed to pick either the row marker or the column marker and move it one step at a time until you find a valid intersection. So in this case, if I pick to move the row marker, I could move it one step up. So that puts me here with the king of crabs. That would be done. Or I could move from 2-4 one step down. That would still leave me with the empty intersection here. Then I can go another step down, and that would put me here on the 7 of diving helmets. So that would be okay. But instead, if I pick to move the column card instead of the row card, the row marker, I could move it one to the left. That would put me here on the queen of diving helmet. Then I'm done. Otherwise, if I want to move to the right, moving one step would still leave me in an empty intersection. Then I can move another step, and that would make the queen of compasses the active card. So in summary, if your drawn dice cards put the intersection of the markers in an empty slot, you're allowed to pick either the row or the column marker to move one step at a time in either direction, left or right, if it is the column, up or down, if it is the row, until you get to a valid intersection where a card is present, and you don't waste any ability, you don't pay anything, and that's really up to you which one you pick, either the row or column, and to which side you move, left or right, up or down. But then you can only do it one step at a time until you actually get to a valid intersection.